Let's talk about making money on PrizePicks. So my name's Alex. I graduated from Stanford in math and computer science. Get the wine ready. We are going to talk about how to crush PrizePicks, and I have 5 tips for you. So I don't say this again to be arrogant. It's just, here are my results. It's a lot of hard work, but I started using PrizePicks in 2022. I started kind of upping my volume in 2023. And in this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about how to make money on PrizePicks. My first tip is pretty simple, but also so important, is you need to study the enemy. PrizePicks is very different than a sports book. So before you dive in and start spending a lot of money on this platform, you need to take a step back and think about how it works, right? So PrizePicks offers fixed payouts. You can look here, we have Bain, and then we have an NHL shot on goal prop on McKinnon, right? If we take both overs, our payout is 3x. We're wagering 20 to win 60. If we switch this both to unders, we're wagering 20 to win 60. Any 2 picks you put into an entry on PrizePicks, you're always getting the same payout, right? 20 to win 60, 20 to win 60, and that's for 2 pick entries. So for 2 pick power plays, you're always getting a 3x payout. Now compare this to a sports book, right? If on DraftKings, this is DraftKings, if we take both overs versus both unders, you're gonna notice we have very different payouts. And that's because DraftKings believes that the overs and unders have different win probabilities, so they alter your payouts depending on if you take overs or unders. On PrizePicks, they don't do that. Everything, any 2 picks, doesn't matter if it's soccer, golf, NHL, whatever, you're always gonna have the same payout of 3x for a 2 pick power play. Now it's the same thing for 5x entries, right? You can take a look right here. 5 pick entries, doesn't matter what the picks were. You go 5 for 5 in a 5 flex, so a flex play. Unlike the power play we looked at, so a power play means you need to win every single pick you have in your entry to win, whereas these flex plays are kind of like round robins, right? If you go 5 for 5, you get a 10x payout. You go 4 for 5, then you get a 2x payout. And if you go 3 for 5, you get a 0.4x payout. So the first thing you need to understand is how these payouts work, right? How is PrizePicks making money off you? It's not like I go to PrizePicks, I place a 2 pick entry, and they're like, hey, we're going to send you a $10, invoice because you just placed a 2 pick entry. That's not how PrizePicks makes money. So you need to take a step back and really think about how is PrizePicks making money off me and study them. And that's what we're going to go through in kind of our other 4 tips. So to go a little deeper, here you can see, right, we have a 2 pick power play, 20 to win 60. Any 2 picks I select, I switch Nathan McKinnon to a different basketball play, hey, we're getting 20 to win 60. We switch Westbrook to an over, 20 to win 60. Any 2 pick entry, you're getting a 3x payout. Now what you can do on PrizePicks though is you can place 3 pick entries. So let's say we go to esports, CSGO. You create a 3 pick entry. Hey, this time it's 5x for a power play, right? So 5x for a power play. And then for a flex play, again, a flex play is kind of like a round robin. If you go 3 for 3, you're going to get 2.25x. If you go 2 for 3, you're getting 1.25x payout, right? And you're going to notice, doesn't matter if we change unders, you're not going to see these payouts change at all, right? So if we switch this to a League of Legends play, hey, it's going to be the same, 20 to win 100 for a power play. And then for the flex play, you're going to be getting 2.25x and 1.25x. PrizePicks does not vary payouts depending on your picks. That is very different than a sports book, right? You look at a sports book, so let's go to the NBA, for example, and you look at player points, is most of these, players, there will be lines juiced in one direction. So Desmond Bain, you can see DraftKings is saying, hey, we're charging minus 125 juice. You got to bet 125 to win back 100 on the under. So DraftKings is saying, hey, the under should be more juiced, right? The under should be the favored outcome for Bain. On PrizePicks, you don't get that, right? Because they're not varying your payout depending on if you select the over or the under. So there are no odds or the odds for every single pick, right? It doesn't matter if you take Bain over or under, right? The odds are essentially on PrizePicks always the same, right? For a 2 pick entry, they're always the same. It doesn't matter if you take overs. It doesn't matter if you take unders. And that's exactly what you'll see, on OddsJam when you're looking at PrizePicks, you're going to notice, hey, these sports books, they'll have lines juiced in different directions. So for Desmond Bain assists, Bet Online has the over favored at minus 119. Bovada has the over favored at minus 125. Whereas PrizePicks, it's always going to be the same odds for the over and the under, and that's what we're kind of going to go through in our other tips for the rest of this video. My second tip is related to my first tip, and my second tip is you should always, there's not a question, there's not a doubt, you should be placing 5-pick and 6-pick flexes exclusively on PrizePicks. If you are placing 2, 3, or 4 picks on PrizePicks, flex plays or power plays, you are making it nearly impossible for yourself to be profitable long term. 5 and 6 flexes are just so much better. And I'm going to run you through the math here in a second. But first, let's jump over to my PrizePicks, and I'll show you, I put my money where my mouth is when I talk about this math and how critical it is that you're placing 5 and 6 pick flex plays. Here's my PrizePicks. A lot of these plays aren't winning. Some days are good, some days are bad. You can see some plays are doing pretty well. We have some cashes. But the more important part is you're going to see all 5-pick and 6-pick entries. Okay, that's all you're going to see. If we scroll, right? Here's a win, right? 5-pick entry, 125 to 1250. Here's a win, right? Here's another win. 5-pick entry, 250 to 2.5K. So what you're going to notice, long story short, is I put my money where my mouth is. We're always placing 5-pick and 6-pick flex plays. I'm not going to give out a 2-pick entry because I know I'm screwing everyone who follows me on Twitter, everything like that. So you may be confused. So let's just kind of go through an example, right? So we know in a 3-pick entry, in our entry, if we have $20, we're going to win $60. But this isn't 60, right? Or let's just switch this to 100. If there's 100 in our entry, we're going to win 300. But 100 of that is my stake or is my entry amount. So there's 100 in my entry to win 200 in profit plus my $100 entry stake back, right? So it's 100 to win 300, but only 200 of that is profit. So there's a difference between payout and profit, right? So this is your payout, which means your profit is just 200. So long story short, if you go through the math, what you end up seeing is your break-even win rate is 57.74%. So this may be confusing, so let's just chill for a second. What this means is if you're winning 57.73% of your picks, so let's say this pick, right? If all these picks you're selecting in 2-pick entries are 57.73% to win, your ROI is basically going to be 0.01%. So this is your break-even win probability. So this is what you're looking to beat, right? You want to win more than 57.738% of your plays. So if you win, let's say 60% of your plays on PrizePicks, so 60% of the over-unders you select, if you win 60%, your ROI is going to be 8%, right? $8 per $100 staked. So your ROI is going to be 8% if you're winning 60% of the picks that you put into a 2-pick power play. Now, if you're only winning, let's say 53% of your plays, your ROI is going to be horrible, negative 16%. And what PrizePicks is hoping is what they assume is most sports bettors, right? Most people on their platform can only pick over and under correctly about 50% of the time, right? So PrizePicks assumes 50% of the people are going to be taking, we can go to the MLB, which maybe is more exciting. So what is assumed, right, or soccer, what is assumed by PrizePicks is 50% of the people are going to take Ivan Toney's over, 50% are going to take his under, and on 2-pick power plays, those people will have ROIs of negative 25%, right? So you have to be winning your picks at least, 57% of the time in a 2-pick entry, right? 57.738% is your break-even win rate. Now here's what's crazy. So that's 2-pick power plays. You need to win 57.738% of your plays to break even. Now for 5 flexes and 6 flexes, it's only 54.2%, right? This is all math. You can look at it, take as long as you want, 2 hours if you want, go through the spreadsheet. It's rock solid. It's literally just math, right? So now here in a 6 flex, here's what's different. If you're winning 54.2% of your plays as opposed to 57.74, right? So this is 3.5% lower. So a 2-pick power play, you have to win 57.74% of your plays to break even. In a 6 flex, it's only 54.2%. So in fact, right, we just said the break-even win probability is 57.738%. If you're winning 57.738% of your plays in a 6 flex, your ROI is 37%. If you can find 6 picks that are all 57.74% to hit, your ROI long-term on PrizePicks is going to be 37%. So this is EV, also known as ROI. Your ROI is going to be 37%, right? And you're not even going to be earning any money if you're placing 2-pick power plays, right? If you're placing 2-pick power plays, your ROI is going to be basically 0. 37% or 0%. What do you want? Obviously, you have to be placing 6 flexes. It's just math. It's all in the spreadsheet. You can take a look. So what this ends up meaning is the odds, right? When you convert, you can take the lines on PrizePicks. So 57.738% is if we head over to OddsJam, is what you can do is you can put this into an odds converter calculator and you can say, okay, what is this equivalent to? A 2-pick power play, what is it equivalent to betting on a sports book? So if you put in 57.38%, is that what it was? No, 57.74 or something like that. So let's go back here, 57.74%. So if you put that into a calculator, this is going to tell you, hey, on PrizePicks for a 2-pick power play, the fact that you have to win 57.74% of your picks means the odds that you're getting in a 2-pick power play, the lines, the odds that you're getting are minus 137. So when you're looking at OddsJam, you're going to notice, for example, for Desmond Bain, PrizePicks is listed at minus 137, because essentially when you're, staking on PrizePicks in a 2-pick entry, you should assume that you're getting minus 137 odds if you're playing 2-pick entries. And that's because, again, you have to win 57.74% of your plays to break even. That's equivalent to placing wagers at minus 137 odds. Now, let's switch over, to the 6 flex. So for a 6 flex, you only need to win 54.2% of your plays to break even. So if we go back here and we type in 54.2, you're going to notice your break even, odds are minus 118. So we round on OddsJam to be a little more conservative. So we round from minus 118 to minus 119. So long story short, when you're playing the 6 flex, you should assume that you're betting at minus 119. So in this case, including Desmond Bain over 4.5 assists in a 5 or a 6 flex is equivalent to placing a bet on BetOnline at minus 119, right? Whereas you're getting a horrible price. I mean, you can see this 2-pick entry. You would be getting worse odds than every single sports book, right? You can see Pinnacle right here. They're offering minus 114. XBet is offering minus 120. If you're including Desmond Bain over 4.5 assists in your PrizePicks entry in a 2-pick power play, you are getting ripped off, right? There are books offering minus 114 on this play. Pinnacle, if you're getting minus 137 in a 2-pick power play, you're getting ripped off, right? You can't be getting ripped off if you want to make money sports betting. So this leads us in to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is simple but so important, and it's don't get ripped off. Right? You think about a savvy investor, you think about a day trader. They are hunting through the market constantly, looking for value, looking for an edge, looking for a leg up. They're not forcing investments. If there's no value in the market, then they're not making investments, they're not making trades. And it's no different as a sharp bettor. So let's go through some examples right here. This is what I mean when I say don't get ripped off. Compare the lines on PrizePicks to those on the sports books. So for example, we know we're getting minus 137 in a PrizePicks 2-pick power play. We went through the math. And if you take a look at the prices on Desmond Bain, let's say under 4.5 assists, you can get plus 100 on FanDuel. That's the best available odds in the market for all sports books that I use. And what you're going to see here is PrizePicks is 37 cents worse, minus 137. For a 2-pick power play, right? So Desmond Bain under 4.5 is a horrible play. You're getting 37 cents worse than FanDuel is. You're getting ripped off. If you bet $137 at minus 137, you're essentially betting $137 to win 100 in profit. That's what you're getting on PrizePicks when we say minus 137 odds. You're betting 137 bucks to win just 100 in profit. On FanDuel, if you bet 137 bucks, you'd be winning $137 in profit if his under were to cash. So you can see here, just comparing the lines on PrizePicks to those on the sportsbooks, I don't care. Maybe you're so confident, Desmond Bane is going to go under an assist tonight. Well, then bet his under not on PrizePicks, not even in a 5 or a 6 flex. You're getting minus 119 odds. Why would you bet at minus 119 in a 5 or a 6 flex if you can get minus 109 on Bet Online, minus 105 on Bovada, or we'll continue to scroll? You can literally get better prices on every other sportsbook, better odds. Odds are the same as prices, so you're getting ripped off. You have dozens of data points that are telling you, hey, we'll give you a better price, better odds than you're getting on PrizePicks. On PrizePicks, you're getting minus 119, and there's dozens of data points, dozens of sports books saying, hey, we'll give you this for a much better price, minus 110, plus 100. So you're getting ripped off, right? It's like if all your neighbors sell their house for, $500,000, $450,000, and you sell your house for $300,000. You're a terrible investor. Never become an investor. Never become a trader. You're never going to make money. Or it's like being a day trader who has to buy every stock at 3 times the price. So you should be comparing the lines on PrizePicks ruthlessly to those on the sports books as you hunt for value. And sometimes you'll be able to find value. So we can see here, maybe we'll be lucky, but it doesn't look like there's any value in the player assist market in the Grizzlies-Clippers game. But again, what you can do on OddsJam is it's free to browse odds, any book you want to look at, millions of odds updating in real time. These odds are updating in real time. And you can see here, you can look at player rebounds, turnovers, steals, right? PrizePicks has markets on all this type of stuff. So let's move on to tip number 4, though. So my third tip was simple. We know that we're getting minus 119 odds in a 5 or 6 flex, so before you ever include a play in your PrizePicks entry, you want to compare the odds on PrizePicks to those on the sportsbooks. So for example, Bam over 8.5 rebounds at minus 119 looks horrible in this PrizePicks entry. Why? Because you can get so much better odds on Caesars at minus 108, on DraftKings at minus 115. Basically, every sportsbook is offering you a better price. Now, you may say, hey, Alex, but PrizePicks is the only book I have. Well, if that's the case, sign up for more books, right? Books set lines independently, right? All of these books, you can see there are some very profitable plays on the OddsJam Positive EV tool. You got one on FanDuel, one on Bovada, one on DraftKings, another one on FanDuel. So the more books you have, right, there's 178 on OddsJam total. The more books you have, the more profitable betting opportunities there will be. So, for example, you may also say, well, Alex, I don't have Caesars in my location, so Caesars isn't really giving me the best price. But that's not the way you want to think about it, right? Caesars, even if this isn't a sports book that is legal or that you can sign up for in your location, it's a data point on where the line should be set, right? They have the over 8.5 for Bam at minus 108 odds. So even if Caesars isn't in your location, if you're playing this on PrizePicks, you should just know that there's someone getting 11 cents better, right? Or there's people out there betting on Caesars who are getting 11 cents better than you. So you can think about it. It's kind of like if your neighbor sells their house for $500,000, then you get a buyer who comes along and is like, yo, I'll pay you $400,000. I mean, sure, you can't go sell your house to that same guy who sold it for $500,000, but now you know you're getting ripped off. You're getting a horrible price. Your neighbor just sold the exact same house for 500 grand, and now you're selling it for 400 grand, right? You're getting ripped off. So look for value in the market. But let's take this a step farther, right? So what you also need to consider is not only when PrizePicks is offering you the best odds on a play, so you can see tomorrow, the best odds you can get on DeAndre Hunter over 3.5 rebounds is on PrizePicks, right? You can see DraftKings has this minus 120. Caesars also has it minus 119. Pinnacle has it minus 121. Pinnacle's known to be the sharpest bookmaker in the world. So long story short, this looks like a little better value, right? PrizePicks is offering the best odds, the best price at minus 119, which is why they're highlighted in kind of dark green. So another thing you need to consider though, and same thing here, Tyler Hero over 4.5 rebounds, you can easily find value on PrizePicks, just kind of scanning around, right? I just look for the dark green and where is PrizePicks offering me the best price. So here you can see, and this is free to do on OddsJam, you get every sport, any game you could want to look at, any market, millions of odds updating in real time for free at your fingertips. So here, right, Hero over 4.5 rebounds, best odds minus 119 on PrizePicks. All the books pricing it around minus 140. Probably a little bit of value here on PrizePicks, right? But another thing I wanted to mention is you're not only wanting to compare the odds, right? You don't only want to compare the odds between bookmakers, but you also sometimes want to see where is PrizePicks setting the line at different levels than their competitors. So, right, like you can see here, Desmond Bain, his line on FanDuel, so this game is live, but his points line is 22.5 on FanDuel. It's 23.5 on PointsBet, 22.5 on DraftKings, right? And then BetMGM, a bunch of other sportsbooks also have his line at 22.5. So PointsBet has the line at 23.5 points for Desmond Bain. All the other books are at 22.5. So PointsBet is too high, right? They're too high relative to every other bookmaker. They have the line for Bain at 23.5 points. All of the sports books have his line at 22.5 points. So we want to take the under, if anything, on PointsBet. And it's the same thing on PrizePicks, is a lot of times what I'll do using this screen, so this is called a screen on OddsJam, and again, you can browse all different types of markets, is I'll scan around it and I'll look for, okay, where does PrizePicks have a discrepancy in where they're setting the line versus the sports books, right? So you can see here, there's not many discrepancies. There's no discrepancies. So this actually brings me into my fifth tip. So again, the fourth tip is related to the third tip, right? The third tip is you want to compare the odds on PrizePicks to those on the sports books. You know you're getting minus 119 in a 5 flex. The fourth tip is you also want to compare where there are discrepancies. Here's another one. Kawhi's line, 29.5 on PointsBet. All of the sports books have him 26.5, 26.5, 28.5, 25.5. So all these sports books are data points telling you Kawhi's line should be lower than 29.5. All these other bookmakers are data points telling you the line should be at, 25.5, 26.5. So you want to hammer the under for Kawhi. So let's keep going through. So this leads us into our fifth tip, right? So you don't only want to compare the odds on PrizePicks to those on the books and the lines as you hunt for value, kind of like a savvy investor or a day trader. But the final thing is you have to deal with variance, right? You have to deal with the wins and the losses. Again, you can see my profit graph right here. There are big ups, there are big downs. Is as a sharp bettor, just like a recreational bettor, you're going to go through winning streaks, you're going to go through losing streaks. So what you don't want to do is get tilted and start going off the rails and just start degenerately betting, right? So stick to the system. Don't bet out of proportion. And I mean, this goes for really any sports book you're betting on, right? Like if you're betting on Bovada, DraftKings, FanDuel, 3 books that I use pretty frequently, just like PrizePicks, right? All books have different lines. So again, we want as many as possible. But even if I have a losing day, because I have losing days, there's not a single sports bettor who doesn't have losing days. If I have losing days, it's not like I start degenerately betting out of proportion, out of my bankroll on plays that aren't profitable, right? Don't chase your losses. Stick to the system, follow bankroll management, and typically what's most common for bankroll management is the Kelly criterion, right? So the Kelly criterion is a way to optimize your bankroll management, but the reason I stress bankroll management, especially for PrizePicks, is on PrizePicks, again, if we go to the platform, right here, you have to remember, we're placing, here it looks like we are one, play away from cashing this $4,000 entry. But what you're going to see on PrizePicks is these are crazy, right? These are 5 flex plays. We need 5 out of 5 legs to hit to get a 10x payout. It's not like these are hitting every other time. You're not going to go 5 for 5 every other time. No sports bettor can do that. You're getting a 10x payout when you go 5 for 5. So you're not going to be going 5 for 5 once every 3 times, once every 4 times, right? These are 5 pick entries. You need 5 picks to win to get the 10x payout. So you're going to go through pretty brutal losing streaks if you're playing on PrizePicks as a sharp bettor, as you can see again in my profit and loss. So you have to stick with the system and you have to manage your bankroll. You can't chase your losses. Otherwise, you're going to lose your long-term ROI if you just start degenerately betting and go off the rails. So hopefully this was helpful, and let's make some money, guys.